All right, so we wanted to say something that was cool that we saw happen. Let me back up and say my son Isaac plays trumpet for Richmond Hill High School, and they had their Christmas orchestra not too long ago. Now, their band is known for excellence, they are amazing. And their band is also very large, over 200. So when they practiced for their Christmas, the football team had also done really well and had went to playoffs. So it was continuing on. So practices for the Christmas performance was kind of crammed in there. And in that, so what they did was they practiced within their sections or within their time frames in their classes until literally the night before the performance. So they worked on this for months, but only the night before the performance they finally got each individual pieces who've only practiced with those people, put it together, and then just once the night before they went through it, and it was magical because
If you don't understand, because I'm trying to,
oh yeah, sorry.
she's saying that each section's practice separately. They practice as individual units, and then they came together as one unit
As the
to
whole
play
orchestra
in one
choir.
night. So they never practiced together as a whole band. Each
Just
section of the
little
band
bits.
practiced on their own individually.
So Isaac's a trumpet, and he said they only had like one clarinet. So I guess it's according to your class times or something. I'm not exactly sure, but the point is you only have a handful of people, but over 200 are going to perform together. So um, so you only know the part that you see, and you only hear that, and it might sound pretty, but usually it's not so great when it's just you by yourself. But when you're put together with the entire orchestra, Isaac said it was like magical, and this is really cool music, and it's pretty difficult. It was great, and it really was magical for us. And I think it's really cool how even though they did not practice a lot together, the hard work they put in beforehand made it beautiful. Okay, how this matters. This is so cool. Do you want to say, or do you want me?
No, go ahead. I'll
Okay.
chime in.
Yes. So Jason just came in from. He has a game. He plays Rocket League. For those who don't know, Jason has felt compelled to start a Christian YouTube channel, and he also does Discord, and he's getting out there and using his interest in gaming, particularly in Rocket League. These are video games for those who don't may not know, to be able to share Christ throughout a platform that you don't see Christ very often in. There's a lot of cursing and maybe bravo talk, things that not that they're bad people. It's just not a culture usually of Christians. So Jason wanted to be able to take his love of video gaming and use that to glorify the Lord. Um, and for several months now, he's been working on this, but he hasn't seen any movement. Got a little discouraged. Um, but he's met a really cool Christian guy a little while ago. They've played together some. One of our uh, guys in the youth group has been playing with him from our local church. Um, so there's been a little bit of movement. And then he met a Christian the other day, a female Christian, and then her husband also plays. So long story short, they start talking, and he has this vision because he loves
Not
rocket.
me, the
husband of the
player.
Christian family or the Christian couple that he met. He has this vision of being able to do training for Rocket League for his youth, like at the church, and using it kind of like a youth outreach program for Rocket League training, um, and setting up Discord and stuff. Okay, this is just so cool because what it did was it took Jason's kind of platform that he wanted to reach. It could be youth, but mainly gamers that are already out there who spend a lot of time on the game, and maybe expose them to Christ where they wouldn't normally go to church or whatever it may be. And then this guy is wanting to reach out to his youth. It's like separate components of the same thing, but Jason was like, this is so cool. It all
Yes,
kind
I
of
was so
goes
excited.
together.
I mean, I was like shaking from excitement because, yeah, it just felt like God put two people in a position to come together for one purpose and, God's mission.
So it's yeah, and as soon as
I
he
was
told
so
me that, as soon as he told me that, I it popped in my head, and I said, "Oh my gosh, you might have only just heard a flute."
excited.
You know, we don't see what God's got going on out there in an orchestra. There is a world full of Christians who are supposed to be practicing their own parts. So we have to be faithful to what God is showing us, even when we don't understand the big picture. And I don't think a lot of times that we get together, but if we could, if we all did our part, God has all these little pieces that are in preparation, practicing, so that when we come together at the right time, God's appointed time, for God's appointed purpose, not for anything to glorify a person, but to only glorify Him. But when we get together and get it right, it'll be magical and it'll be beautiful and it will glorify Him. And there'll be no doubt that it's a miracle, because when you get something, God size, where if a lot of people obeyed and you all work together, you can see God's hand all over it and you know it. And even in this small instance where Jason just got to meet one other part coming together for what we hope to be something that blossoms into a beautiful thing where there'll be a lot of Christian gamers out there. But until we get to that point, or until he does, or until the Lord does, whatever happens with it, he still got excited to just see that one other person doing their part. And that's encouraging, because it's encouraging for all of us to know that we may not see movement. We may not even know if we're following correctly, but if you feel the Lord speaking to you and it is biblical, it lines up with the Lord, you're not, say for instance in the gaming, he doesn't neglect his work or his family or anything, he does his part. Gaming is for fun on the side. So as long as what you're doing still glorifies the Lord and doesn't neglect or take away from anything else in your life, keep going. If you feel like the Lord's told you to do something, keep going. You never know where it's going.
And it's like, I really got discouraged because of how excited I was in this pursuing of bringing God's kingdom into the gaming community. Since it didn't like take off as much as I wanted it to, or as quickly, I got really discouraged and started questioning whether or not that this is something that was planned out for me to do by God. And I almost did actually consider not doing it anymore, because it just didn't seem like it was going anywhere. But I prayed about it, and he just kept, the feeling of to continue to push through just kept resonating in my heart. So I did. I kept doing it. I kept putting myself out there. And that's the thing too, what I'm gonna, on a caveat with Laura's talking about, we got to put ourselves out there. You're not going to know who's trying to do what, or who's a part of what, or what other instrument is out there, if you don't put yourself out there. As Christians, we need to let people know we're Christians. And I know that's a hard pill to swallow. I know it's something that's not such a trend thing to do, but I mean, look at, like with me, I put myself out there, and it's being blessed is what it seems like. It's you reap what you sow, and it's true. So just, if you get discouraged, if you have a doubt in your mind that you might not be following what God's trying to have you do, that's what the devil's good at. As soon as you even have a doubt, he's gonna zoop right in there and look and give you every reason why that doubt is good. Go figure. So, yeah, just wanted to kind of share that little piece. Sorry, I'm trying to get that shadow off my face of the light. So yeah, exciting stuff.
That's our stuff. We felt like we needed to share.
Let everybody know God has a plan for you. Just
keep being faithful.
Just pray.
Yeah.
Keep talking to Him. Keep asking. Just keep bugging Him. I don't know how else to put it. He wants you to console in Him. Mm-hmm. He wants you to rely on Him. So if anything comes up that you're not sure of, pray. I'm learning that so much. Prayer is important. I'm just wrestle with God. Wrestle with God, and He'll let you know if the wrestling is good. Yep. There you go.
That's all.
All right. Thanks for watching. Anybody who does. Hope you all have a blessed rest of the night.
We love y'all.
Love y'all.